In this video you will learn how to operate the emergency mode on the SP-401S lighting unit. Emergency mode is a local override that allows you to turn the lamp on manually using the switch located at the bottom of the unit. The emergency mode switch is a physical button located at the bottom of the SP-401S lamp. It allows the user to manually activate or deactivate the lamp without opening the housing and without using radio commands. Emergency mode has local priority, meaning the lamp will follow the emergency mode state until the switch is deactivated. In contrast to other operational modes, emergency mode applies to the entire lamp network connected to the UR201. There is a setup of 5 SP-401S lamps, each unit is assigned to a specific group. The graphic shows Group A and Group B, which represent radio groups that can receive independent configurations via the UR101 handheld controller, the UR201, or ALCMS. Adjusting a group's operating mode, intensity level, or on-off state does not influence other groups. The exception is emergency mode, which propagates across the entire radio network. This means that when one lamp activates the emergency switch, the modification affects the entire network. Part of manufactured SP-401S lamps are equipped with a bistable emergency switch. A bistable switch stays pressed in after you push it, and remains in that position until you press it again to release it. This switch does not activate or deactivate emergency mode simply by being in or out. Instead, the switch position only indicates its mechanical state, and emergency mode is controlled by specific press sequences. Another part of the manufactured SP-401S lamps is equipped with a monostable emergency switch. A monostable switch always returns to the unpressed position immediately after you press it. Unlike the bistable version, it does not physically stay in or out, it always springs back to its default position. For lamps equipped with a monostable switch, emergency mode is controlled entirely through a sequence of quick presses. To activate emergency mode, press the switch 2 times. The lamp will start illuminating at 100% intensity. To deactivate emergency mode, press the switch 4 times consecutively. After the 4th press, the lamp exits emergency mode and returns to normal operation. For lamps equipped with a bistable switch, the switch itself physically stays in after pressing and remains in until pressed again to release it. However, emergency mode is still activated and deactivated using press patterns, not based on whether the switch is in or out. To activate emergency mode, press the bistable switch 1 time. The switch stays in the pressed-in position, and the lamp enters emergency mode. If the emergency switch stays pressed in, you won't be able to deactivate emergency mode. To deactivate emergency mode, first ensure the button is in the out position. Then press the switch 4 times in and 4 times out. After the 4th press of the switch, the lamp exits emergency mode and returns to normal operating mode. The bistable switch shows its mechanical position, but the actual emergency mode state always depends on the correct press sequence. Part of manufactured SP-401S lamps are configured as emergency lamps. In this configuration, the emergency switch does not affect only the local lamp. When the emergency switch is activated on one lamp, all lamps connected to the radio network will immediately enter emergency mode. The same applies to deactivation. Deactivating emergency mode on one lamp will deactivate it across all devices. This behavior allows emergency mode to be triggered or cleared globally, using any single lamp within the same radio network. These lamps are clearly identified with a dedicated label marked "Emergency Switch Operative." Other SP-401S lamps are configured as non-emergency lamps. In this configuration, the emergency switch works locally only. Pressing the emergency switch on a non-emergency lamp activates emergency mode only on that specific lamp, without affecting any other lamps in the same radio network. Deactivation turns off all lamps in the network. This setup is typically used when individual, isolated control is required. Emergency mode can be deactivated from any lamp within the same radio network group, regardless of which lamp originally activated it. For example, if emergency mode is activated on lamp 1, it can be deactivated using the emergency switch on lamp 2, as long as both lamps belong to the same radio network. This functionality ensures fast and practical shutdown of emergency mode without the need to locate the exact lamp where it was originally activated. Emergency mode is not limited to SP-401S lamps only. It can also be activated from other lighting units within the same radio network. Pressing the emergency switch on devices such as POPI units or solar engines can activate emergency mode on SP-401S lamps in the same network. This allows emergency mode to be controlled from multiple types of lighting equipment, providing flexibility and redundancy during critical situations. When emergency mode is active, the lamp operates with deep battery discharge protection disabled. This means the system no longer limits operation to protect the batteries from excessive discharge. In emergency mode, the lamp always operates at 100% intensity and will remain on until it is manually deactivated by the user or until the batteries are fully depleted. Because the normal battery protection logic is bypassed, operating in emergency mode can lead to deep discharge, which may cause permanent damage to the batteries. For this reason, emergency mode should be used only when absolutely necessary and deactivated as soon as normal operation can be restored. When the lamps are operating under remote control, using systems such as UR201, ALCMS, or UR101, the emergency switch can be used to immediately turn off lamps within the same radio network. In this scenario, the emergency switch acts as a hardware override that interrupts the active remote command. This function is especially important during maintenance, inspections, or unexpected situations, where lamps must be switched off instantly without waiting for remote confirmation. It ensures that on-site personnel always retain direct physical control over the lighting system, regardless of the current remote operating mode. Keep in mind that right after deactivating, the adjusting intensity, or changing operating modes are lamp via emergency switch, the lamp may accept a command from the control units if such a command remains active. When emergency mode is activated, the behavior of the system changes. When the emergency switch is active for a radio network, the UR101, UR201, and ALCMS cannot adjust intensity, activate or deactivate modes, or switch off any lighting unit in that group. The lamps remain in emergency mode until it is manually deactivated using the emergency switch on a lamp or on another compatible lighting unit within the same radio network. Once emergency mode is turned off, normal remote control is restored immediately. The ALCMS system provides an alert when emergency mode is active and highlights the active emergency mode status at the top of the display for easy visibility. By navigating to the Monitoring tab and expanding the appropriate group under Equipment list, you can review detailed informations. The Emergency button column shows whether the bistable switch remains engaged, helping you quickly identify the unit with the pressed emergency switch. If the emergency switch stays pressed in, you won't be able to deactivate emergency mode. If you want to learn more about the Monitoring tab, refer to the video, SP-401S Device Monitoring, via ALCMS. To learn more about the SP-401S Lighting Unit, refer to the SP-401S Lighting Unit User's Manual.